So we're in for a treat here today in the Sylvania Cup Series, as we are now tackling a track that is long extinct in real life, Ontario Superspeedway. We get to see the Sylvania Cup stars take to Ontario here. And starting on the front row, we've got Tyler Aspinall alongside Ryan Blaney. Behind them, we've got Justin Day2 and Jacob Shangle. Our previous winner in the series, Atlee Weiss, starting alongside Austin Mullins. Skylar Dixon and Ewan Whatarmy. Tim Cording and Monty Shangle. Lewis Trost and Tyler Shangle. John Roman and Howard Schuler. Kellen Relic and Liz Shangle. Rick Quick and Alan Taylor. Cam Jordan and Guido Piano. Chaz Chadwick and Bob Leader. Will Power and Jack Ross, Chris Hergeson and Clyde Coker, Kara Carl and Alexander Rossi, Roger Lutz and Ant Meeperson, Greg Forian and Danny Lidowitz, Al Bunch and Scott Dixon, Mitchell Gobea, and then Jimmy Johnson and Tristan Reams, Aaron Rapp, Dalton Scott, Michael LeBeau, Jimmy Gokachia, and at the very back, Justin Roman. "142 laps here at Ontario for a 355-mile race. We've got the Jimmy Johns 355 on tap for you here today. As they get to the start-finish line, the green flag waves, and they're off. Atlee Weiss has definitely cemented his position as a contender for this championship in 2023. Part-time rookie, now full-time entry. He has had a great start to the season and is in no shape slowing down. Ontario usually has some pretty gnarly wrecks here. It looks like we're going to make it through the first lap unscathed, as no one wrecks, no chaos, no commotion through the first lap of action. Tyler Aspinall settled in with the lead right now over Justin Day2, Ryan Blaney, Skylar Dixon, and Tim Cording. Lewis Trost on the move all the way up to 6th already. The brothers Shangle, Jacob, and Tyler running nose and tail right now. Atlee Weiss is struggling a little bit as he's continuing to drop backwards. Perhaps trying to get a feel for the track. You're not going to win it on lap 1, so... Oh, and we do have a caution already here on lap 3. Looks like Jimmy Gokachia was involved in a wreck. We'll follow him at the back of the field here. Kind of washes out high, getting passed for position. As you can see, nothing has transpired yet. This is usually the danger corner right here. Oh, and there we got Bob Leader spinning out. Ooh, Greg Forian going for a ride. As you can see, they just got bunched up there after he hit the wall. Greg Forian spinning out, getting slammed into that outside wall hard. So, early caution here at the start of this one. Most of our leaders come down pit road, it looks like, but we do have a few that stay out. Kellen Relic, John Roman, Will Power, and Scott Dixon. And most of you that have been following on the Discord are race car drivers. The regulars in real life racing are going to have to be forced out, and that'll open up some seats for the Busch and Truck Series to move up. So this will be the farewell tour for Will Power, farewell tour for Scott Dixon, Jimmy Johnson, Alexander Rossi, just to name a few, in their final season. And then it's going to be just about dedicated to everyone within my family and friends and the Discord channel of people that follow the series. It's going to be unlike anything I'm sure most of you have followed with video games that pertain to NASCAR. The Sylvania Cup has 13 years rich of history. 13 years rich with history, and it's only going to keep going from there. Putting your names in the winners circle is going to be a huge deal, and even more so becoming champions of the series. It's going to be a pretty big deal. So it looks like Kellen Relic is going to inherit the lead here on lap 4. Once we get restarted, probably around lap 6, it's going to be interesting to see what he's got for the lead. Okay, we're getting back to racing here. Front row, Kellen Relic and John Roman. Will Power and Scott Dixon. Ryan Blaney and Tim Cording. Jacob Shangle, Lewis Trost, Monty Shangle, and Ewan What Army. That's your top 10. They're charging off into turn 1 here as Kellen Relic will steadily take the lead. Hopefully we can get some good green flag runs going here. Ryan Blaney up to third, Jacob Shangle on the outside. That's a very hairy spot to be in. You don't want to be on the outside too wide because the inside guy might push you a little high into that outside wall. And just like that, 3 wide for position back there, but they start to settle out single file for the most part. A lot of jockeying for position. This was definitely one of the only super speedways in the western side of the United States. Located California. Tore down probably about in the 80s. Only really functioned for about a decade. Definitely a huge what if scenario. Had the track not been tore down, what would we might even have 3 super speedways on the schedule. It'd be cool to have a Daytona, a Talladega, and an Ontario to round out a triple crown of sorts of super speedway action. But anymore, it's really only Daytona and Talladega. Some people might lobby that Atlanta should be in the mix, but to me that's still only a 1.5-mile track, and even though they race like they're on a super speedway, it's like a short track super speedway. It's a intermediate super speedway is what it is. I miss the long tracks with gruesome speeds that may never be built again. We might be seeing the last of them between Daytona and Talladega. A true modern marvel. Indianapolis, if the track was laid out differently, would probably run more like a super speedway, but with the cup cars at Indianapolis, it's more of a road course, kind of like a Pocono almost. In my classification, I treat anything over 2 miles as a super speedway though. Monty Shangle takes the lead, and we get a caution at the same time as Monty takes the lead away from Kellen Relic. Ooh, and our points leader, Tristan Reams, wrecked out of this one already. That's gonna spell trouble for the points lead. As you can see, Tristan Reams and Tyler Shangle make contact here. Tyler just gets a little bit loose, making contact with Tristan Reams. This ultimately spins Tristan Reams out, and With a little bit of contact from Jimmy Johnson there, that might put an end to the day for Tristan Reams, our points leader. Tyler Shangle's high up in the point standings, and looks like his damage is minimal as he barely kisses the wall with the side of the car. But we'll go again at speed and see just how hard Tristan Reams hit. Really, the second impact there from Jimmy Johnson is the one that did the most damage. We'll ride along in the in-car cam this time and see it's crazy all the other cars coming at full speed that there wasn't more involved in the wreck. There's only a 3-car wreck involving the 42 of Jimmy Johnson, the 8 of Tristan Reams, and the 77 of Tyler Shangle. And so we are now under caution for the second time here at Ontario. And it looks like this time everyone pits. There is no one that stays out. And Monty Shangle, coming off pit road, maintains his lead over Kellen Relic and Louis Trost. Monty Shangle has had an anomaly of a season so far with 4 wins, and not just 4 wins spread throughout the season. No, he had 4 consecutive wins early on, back to back to back. And since then has been struggling so badly that he's dropped to 6th in the points. He finally was able to secure a top 10 finish. So at one point his 4 wins equated for his 4 top 5s and his 4 top 10s. And coming at him pretty quickly, Tristan Reams with 3 wins on the season. Reams is trying to put a bid for the winningest driver, but as you saw right there, he ain't gonna get a win today. And Monty Shangle's still out there running good, could potentially rack up his 5th win of the season if things keep going his way here. 3 retirements from the race: Tristan Reams, Jimmy Johnson, and Clyde Coker. Or correction, that would be Roger Lutz in the 90, not Clyde Coker. We're back going. Monty Shangle gonna try to take the lead back once again. And just like I said last time, hopefully we can start getting some green flag runs going as these guys continue to keep wrecking up all the vehicles at the back of the field. One driver that definitely loves to see all the carnage is Monty Shangle, who continues to keep leading at the front of the field. Nope, and we got some more wrecking at the back there. It looks like Scott Dixon and Will Power. But we will be able to stay green as those two stayed going in the forward direction. Ultimately, they are going to be slowed way down. And this might give us an opportunity to stretch them out single file here, as we were able to avoid a caution that time by. Still looks pretty jumbled up in the mid-pack, as there's a lot of 3 and 2 wide going on for position. We're going to be able to survive another green flag lap here. And now we got a Shangle breakaway as Monty leads over Jacob Shangle here on lap 18. Oh, we had another retirement. Greg Forian out of the race with a tire. I'm still surprised that that's a true failure in NR2003. You figure a tire failure would be something you could fix easy. But whichever. Still a retirement. And Jacob Shangle going for the lead, taking it away from Monty. So the number 64 Ford Mustang leads here on lap 20. Throw Tim Cording in the mix now, as well as Chaz Chadwick and Justin Day2. Ooh, and Monty Shangle taking the lead back away. We've got a heated battle for the win here already. We just barely started this race, and there's back and forth action at the lead. Chadwick getting by. Chadwick would love to join his comrade at LFG Motorsports in getting a victory this season. What Army's already taken home victory here in the Sylvania Cup. Chadwick yet to do so. Chadwick still running really strong in the USA trucks and is a prime candidate for the championship in that series. It's had a little bit slower of an uptake here in the Sylvania Cup series, but regardless is still a threat week in, week out, as he's such a talented driver out there on field. It's only a matter of time before all the pieces come together and he's out there dominating week in, week out, like Monty Shangle there. and give the lead to Chadwick as he just muscles his way past Monty. Jacob getting back up to third there by day 2. And we definitely have the long single file green flag run here as everyone has kind of found a rhythm and putting some laps together. Fastest lap belongs to Cam Jordan, Guido Piano, Justin Day 2, Jack Ross, and Chaz Chadwick. Monty Shangle trying to make another move, get back to the lead. Chadwick on the high side here is going to have to hope that Jacob doesn't get inside. Yep, here we go. He's going to start losing a couple spots as Jacob and Justin both make an opportunity to make the pass there. Wow, Tyler Aspinall, who took tires on the first caution when there was a bunch of folks that stayed out. Tyler Aspinall, oh, why does it seem like every time Aspinall's having a good race, something has to go wrong? He blew her up as he was charging the field down. If there's anyone in the Sylvania Cup Series that is cursed, it is... Oh, Guido Piano gets tangled up in it. This seems to happen week in and week out for Tyler Aspinall, pushing that Chevy right to the levee. Guido Piano had a fast car here today, and it looks like he's going to be out. Ewan What Army gets tangled up in this. Oh, a serious case of ARCA brakes as Jimmy Gokachia just slams. Wow, Will Power. These guys are ARCA brake happy here during this segment that we just saw unfold. Man, Tyler Aspinall is going to have to try and figure out what's wrong with the engine program here. Wow, Jimmy Gokachia just slams into One Army. Hopefully, Ewan wasn't trying to get out of his seatbelt there. Let's go for a ride with What Army during that transaction there. So, we continue to lose more and more racers by the lap here, as we're only 26 laps into it. So far out of the race, we've got a whole bunch. The 29 of Tyler Aspinall, unfortunately, is going to come home 34th today after suffering a camshaft failure. Bob Leader in 35th. Willpower in 36th. Ewan Wood Army in 37th. Jimmy Gokachia in 38th. Greg Forian in 39th. Tristan Reams. Jimmy Johnson. And Roger Lutz at the back end of the field there. All retired out of the race. Looks like we still have 33 cars left running. Some of them mildly damaged, as we can check at the back here. Fortunately for Guido, he's still running, still going to have an opportunity to make up some positions, perhaps with more attrition to come. Scott Dixon, Skylar Dixon, Ant Me Person, Rick Quick, Tyler Shangle, Howard Schuler, Atlee Weiss, Mitchell Gobea, Alan Taylor, Alexander Rossi, Justin Roman. Kellen Relics fallen all the way back to 20th. Shout out to Chris Hergeson, currently setting in the top 10 here. Did a little bit of upgrades to his car this past week, and it's showing here at Ontario. Although Ontario tends to be, like every other super speedway, a wild card, still doesn't take away any merit from the run that he's got going here and staying out of trouble. One thing is for certain, Ontario does run a little bit on the unhinged side. But I do feel like that adds to the mystique of the race here, as we often get some crazy side-by-side racing that the cars look like they're out of control. We've already seen that the lead swaps hands pretty easily here. The leader does not drive away with it, as momentum of the draft usually helps drivers get back in the swing of things. Man, it just sucks for Tyler Aspinall. Had a great run going and was going to try to make it back to the front. Started on the pole and blew up. It seems to be a reoccurring trend for him, starting on the pole all the time but not getting to close the deal. The restarts are always the most scary, as these drivers have to sort themselves out without wrecking. Dang, Al Bunch and Chris Hergeson cracking their way into the top 5 here on the restart. Great run for the two of them. Looks like we're going to stay civilized through that turn. Ew, 3 wide, a lot of 3 wide. But we stay green, stay going. Chadwick's teammate, What Army, out of the race, out of the care center, though. He's doing fine. But it's a tough day for him in the point standings. Really hoping for a great race here, and unfortunately out of this one early. Jacob Shangle takes the lead away, and Monty Shangle dropping like a rock all the way back to 5th. Now Jacob's going to have to contend with Jack Ross, Chris Hergeson, and Tim Cording, a trio of our stars that have worked their way through the ladder to get here. Impressive run for Jack Ross, Chris Hergeson, and Tim Cording. The one thing that's been prominent in 2023 is we've seen good runs from the rookies, but a full-length race that they're not used to. Usually in the Busch and Truck Series, they're running usually half the duration or even only a third of the duration that these Cup cars run. These rookies usually struggle to close the deal at the end of the race. They might have the short-term speed and look good early on, but rarely get to close up the deal at the end of the race. And then we got another caution here on lap 31, as this is going to make for a long race today. All these cautions just stretch it out more and more. Yeah, that looked a lot like Day 2's fault. The 88 car of Justin Day 2 will follow on the chase cam here, the drone cam. Day 2 up high. Wow, actually it was not Day 2's fault at all. That was the 80 of Clyde Coker that caused that one. Atlee Weiss with nowhere to go, just bumping, trying to get through with minimal damage. So Justin Day 2, just an unfortunate ping pong ball in the mess of it here. Clyde Coker connects, spinning out. Momentum throws him up into the wall. And the damage is minor enough with each of these wrecks that these drivers are not wrecking out of the race, but simply damaging their vehicles and slowing them down. Yeah, it seems like all involved was Clyde Coker, Skylar Dixon, Howard Schuler, and Justin Day 2 in that one. The rest were able to get through it pretty smoothly. Wow, we're already 42 minutes into this one, and we've barely even cracked past the 33 lap mark. Okay, going back to green here on lap 36 as Jacob Shangle and Chris Hergeson start on the front for this restart. We've got, it looks like, a smaller field each and every time that we go through the restart. The 80 of Clyde Coker now joins the retirements in the race here today. They come roaring down the back straight here. A lot of the damaged vehicles running at the back now, slower that they can't keep up with the lead pack. This seems to be the lead pack right here, still within range of the leader. Falling all the way back to about 25th place. Still contenders in this race. Even Monty Shangle dropped all the way back here, and he's going to have to work his way back to the front. Although dropping this far back is never a good situation because it puts you back in the nest with the squirrels. More likely to get wrecked running further in the back here than you are at the front of the field, away from all the chaos. Seems that everyone's going to kind of line out here and get into a single file run, and we've got yet another caution. It's going to be one of those days here in the Sylvania Cup Series. This time looks like probably putting an end to the day for Guido Piano. That car is beyond toast. And so the 88 yet again, suspect in the caution here. We just saw the 88 involved in a previous caution. And it's going to be Howard Schuler, also another driver in the previous cautions, involved here. He hooks the 88. This ultimately causes the 88 to spin out, and upon spinning back out on track, collects the 37 of Guido Piano. And day two, high up in the point standings, just like Tristan Reams, this is going to help shake up the point standings in the Sylvania Cup Series. This is going to be a wreck fest of sorts for us. That 88 car looked clean, and now it is not. Sadly, I think Guido Piano is going to have to park it for the day. And yet again, another retirement on the day. That'll put us down to 31 cars left running. Interestingly enough, we've got a new pair of leaders at the front of the field. Dalton Scott and Liz Shangle running 1-2 for the restart on lap 42. I don't believe we're going to see very many long green flag runs here, as these guys just cannot get things sorted. This time by, it'll be 100 laps to go. Liz out to the lead. Dalton on the outside, dropping back a bit. Looks like he's gonna, wow, get run right through by Rick Quick. Luckily, it was slight contact, the two of them side by side. Nothing came about it. Dalton Scott might be able to settle in to fourth there. He's gonna get up back in line and fall into fourth. And then we're at the back of the field now, and this is getting hairy for Jacob Shangle, as he's surrounded by a lot of damaged vehicles that are slowing him up. Went from leading this race now to the very tail end of the active racers left running. Jack Ross drops to the back now, and we're going to see if these guys can make a charge back up to the front. Meantime, Liz Shangle driving off with a solid lead over Rick Quick and Dalton Scott. Austin Mullins, Ryan Blaney, and Al Bunch. Quite the intriguing cast of characters running towards the front of this one. You don't usually see these guys in contention for a win every week. It's crazy to think that we're already 15 races into the Sylvania Cup Series for 2023. It's been an exciting one so far with a lot of new winners, some great racing, carnage and action, all of it wrapped up into one neat little present for us. Jacobs making some moves through the pack again as they're able to pick off some of the slower traffic here. And as you can see, a lot of single file running right now. This should help allow the race to kind of mellow out, as we've been on such a caution heavy start to this race. Al Bunch up to fourth, that's pretty cool. There's been a lot of excitement building, ramping up for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame race later on in the season. The Cleveland Airport, which will host the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame 237. It'll be a 100-lap spectacle to behold, with all the cars painted up in bands, musicians. It's going to be a paint scheme showcase for a lot of different painters, including myself, Chadwick, and a few others that have put in the time and effort to make this thing as huge as it's going to be. And then I found out too that the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is potentially scheduled around the same time that I scheduled that race. It's going to be fun to watch and see when they drop the official scheduled date for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction ceremony for this year. And it'd be something extra special if it falls around the same time that we're doing our racing spectacle. I'm going to have to look on the ballot and see who's going to be inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame for this year, and maybe at least make a primary someone with one of those bands or groups or artists that's getting inducted onto one of their cars. It would be a neater deal to have someone that's actually getting inducted officially for 2023 on a car. And we've got another caution. Ooh, and the carnage is real on that one. Kara Carl was involved. She was running in 18th at the time. Rick Quick, falling backwards, gets caught up in it. And that car simply yard darts into the wall. And that's the end of the day for Rick Quick, who was dropping like a rock. We've seen that happen a lot today, where someone at the front starts to fall backwards, losing that momentum. Rick Quick 3 wide right here with Alexander Rossi and Chaz Chadwick. Right behind him, the 51 of Danny Litowitz. Going into this turn here. Wow, Chadwick just loses control of it slideways going through the turn. With that slideways move, that kind of woed up the 47 of Rick Quick. And Danny Litowitz hooks him. Kara Carl getting heavily involved with the damage there. Luckily, no one else connects for any of the damage. And it looks like we might have another retirement from the race. We are officially down to 28 cars left running in this one, as Rick Quick and Kara Carl officially retire from the race due to that accident. 28 cars, still a little bit over half of the field left running. And we get to sit for another long stint under caution here before we go back racing. Really appreciate everyone's patience with this one. This one's going to be a long day for everyone involved. This time on the restart, it's Liz Shangle with Ryan Blaney, Al Bunch, and Austin Mullins right behind them. And Ryan Blaney gets one a hell of a start there as he blows by Liz Shangle with ease. Our field sizably smaller from when we started this race about 55 laps ago. So they come roaring through the turns onto the backstretch here. Single file at the front. Al Bunch breaking suit. Al Bunch is going to try to make the pass here on Liz Shangle. And we make it through the chaos zone this time by. Three wide here in the deep pack. Three wide still. Al Bunch here in his best opportunity with his part-time schedule at a good run here. Heck, Chris Hergeson surprising everyone today as he's putting that 6 car in a good position for a good finish. Currently it's 2 Dodges leading over the 2 Fords behind them. The 2 Fords teaming up, trying to draft each other, bump draft each other. This forces Al Bunch back, and Al Bunch had to whoa way up. Monty Shangle back up within the top 5 here. No, what a shame. That was a hard wreck to watch right there. Oh boy. Well, the race is going to be spectacular for something. It might as well continue to land blow after blow here today at Ontario. The fortunate part is I think Chris Hergeson gets minimal damage there. As you can see, he gets slammed into the wall, but I think continuing onward he should be fine. The one, however, that's not so fortunate is the 18 here of Chaz Chadwick, who after losing it gets clobbered by the 63 of Gobea, and everyone just piles in there, dogpiling in there. That puts an end to the day for Chadwick, sadly, and maybe even more to follow. Jacob Shangle and Louis Trost spinning out, but I think their damage is pretty minimal here. Those cars look rougher for the wear. And that's why you don't want to get towards the back end of the field. You're just putting yourself in harm's way. Tyler Shangle trying to drive through the carnage. Slams into the 59 of Howard Schuler there. It's going to make his day harder to finish on a good note. Aunt Me Person with nowhere to go comes down and slams into the 18 of Chadwick. We're on cam here with Jacob Shangle as the car keeps getting hit into here. Didn't seem to be terminal damage for Tim Cording gets a pretty good knock on the front end of that car. I think Atlee is one of the few drivers that really didn't have any troubles there. As we can watch Atlee's in-car, that would be a fun one to watch. So following Atlee Weiss here, see the smoke starting to billow. You see the 18 spinning like a top. And Atlee makes it through like a champ. And make that a bold and big move for Atlee, as he's now up into the top 5, right behind Al Bunch. Monty Shangle's worked his way back up to 2nd here. Liz Shangle leading. Chris Hergeson still going to continue onward. Danny Lidowitz, Jacob Shangle, Dalton Scott, Lewis Trost, Skylar Dixon, Scott Dixon, Michael LeBeau, Tim Cording, Cam Jordan, Austin Mullins, Alan Taylor, Ryan Blaney, John Roman, Kellen Relic, Jack Ross, then back up to our top 5 here. That means we've got a whole bunch more retired on that caution there. The 63 of Mitchell Gobea, well, actually even further down. So Kara Carl was the last one to retire. Now we've got Aunt Me Person joining in. Aaron Rapp, Mitchell Gobea. Double check, make sure I'm getting names right here. Yeah, Mitchell Gobea in the 63, out. Chadwick, out. Tyler Shangle, out. Howard Schuler, out. And Justin Roman, out. We only have 21 cars left running, and we are not even to halfway yet in this race. We might need to make this race shorter for next year even, as this is just a demolition derby today. Husband-wife duo at the front there, Monty and Liz on the restart. Monty getting out to the lead. And our field is now half of what it used to be. Only 21 of the 42 cars left running. Very few cars out there left running that don't have damage. Most of your leaders have been fortunate enough to stay out of trouble. And you would imagine at this rate things would start to stop with the cautions and the wrecks and whatnot, but we'll see. As we're trying to get to halfway here, we might still get more and more cautions racking up. Someone's going to have a good day here. With all the attrition, there's going to be a new driver that gets a good finish that has not usually got good finishes here in the Sylvania Cup Series. Oh, and Liz takes the lead back away from Monty Shangle. As the husband-wife battle continues at the front of the field here, Alexander Rossi sneaking into the picture. Gonna mix it all up. Kellen Relic as well. Then you got Austin Mullins and Cam Jordan just a little bit further back there. Austin Mullins on the inside there of Alexander Rossi. Looks like he's going to make the pass for fourth. And here we go. Another change for the lead as Monty takes the lead back. Once we get to lap 71, that'll be halfway through this race. And it only took us about an hour and a half to get to halfway. The second half of this race could go a lot quicker with less cars left running and less potential for a caution to break. As you can see, there's definitely established groups of cars right now. Our lead pack, a second pack, and then a third pack way at the back that are slower than everyone. That third pack likely is going to be a problem for the leaders once they start catching up to the tail end of the field. How about that? Atlee Weiss jumped up 2 spots from 16th up to 14th. Ooh, and Kellen Relic getting on the inside of Liz there, giving her a bump. Looks like Kellen's going to take second. It really is crazy how well Monty Shangle has been this season. The only problem is when he's not winning, he's struggling to get top 10s. But he could always go on another tear here and win a few races and then put himself back into the points lead. It's crazy to think that a driver with 5 wins could technically not be leading the points after today. Because that's what's going to end up happening if he even wins this race. There's still enough of a points gap for him to not quite close back in on the leader. $85 points is his deficit up to Tristan Reams. Which it'll be pretty close. It might actually work out, but it'll be within single digit deficit, if not close to a tie. And Kellen Relic takes the lead away from Monty with style there. Kellen Relic currently sitting 12th in the points, 164 points out of the lead. Kellen's definitely one of the ones out there that would need a win to start moving up the point standings. This here being an impressive run for Kellen Relic, as the last time he's won in the Sylvania Cup Series dates all the way back to 2020. So he's actually cracked into the triple-digit winless streak for the series. He would love to cull the bleeding and get a win. Wow, after Monty lost the lead, he fell all the way back to 7th there. Another driver that has been winless since 2020 involves the 59 of Howard Schuler. Howard Schuler's been at it a longer winless streak than Kellen Relic does. And then going even further back to 2019, we've got Jacob Shangle, who still hasn't won in over 4 years now. Dalton Scott, his winless streak dates back to 2018. John Roman dates back to 2012. And Rick Quick all the way back to 2011, although he has not contested every season since that year. If he contested every season, that stat might be different. But regardless of that, he's a returning veteran in the sport, and the last time he won in the series was 2011. You can't change that statistic. Series has been around since 2010, so that's a statistic that will be an interesting one to keep an eye on, especially if Rick Quick's able to get back to victory lane. The party that would be thrown for such a winless streak to be broke would be monumental. Now that we've actually settled into a long green flag run here, You're going to have to start thinking what may happen if these guys go long enough for green flag pit stops. Ain't going to be factor for a while, but it could come into play here. Especially now that we're past halfway in this race. And the lead continues to get passed back and forth here. Now that Liz Shangle is on the attack, getting by Kellen Relic for the lead. Monty Shangle also moving back up to the front. Cam Jordan wants to try and take the lead from Liz here, as you've got two rows drafting with each other. You can see Al Bunch in the background there. He's trying to get back within the lead pack. It's quite a ways off the draft for him, so he's going to have to hope for a little bit of luck and fortune to come his way. Al Bunch has actually caught up to this lead pack and could make it interesting with the leaders. We are in the midst of green flag pit stops here as the last of them finish up their round. Looks like the lead's going to shuffle back around to Kellen Relic and Monty Shangle here. We've got about 46 laps to go. So just like that, once these guys got going without cautions, this is going to go by pretty quickly now. The first half of the race took about an hour and a half. The second half of this race will take probably about 45 minutes if we can stay green the entire time. We got 3 cars within range of each other here for the win with 44 laps to go. So we're under caution yet again in the race, as we saw. And it seems that it was a debris caution this time. So a quick debris caution. The interesting part is Atlee Weiss comes down pit road, takes gas only, and leaves out of the track with the lead. Fresh off of his last win in the series with the win at Memphis. Rolling the dice here and seeing possibly if a last lap or a last charge to the finish here might be possible with the gas and go. Get back going here on lap 118. Kellen Relic, obviously with the fresher tires, running all the way up around Atlee Weiss here. It's probably going to be all for naught for Atlee, as he's going to have to settle in. And that slower car getting freight trained like crazy. Monty Shangle to the lead as he goes around Kellen Relic pretty easily there. The one good thing about this pit or this caution is it's going to give everyone one more shot to try and take the win here today at Ontario. Some of your drivers with damaged vehicles, it gives them one more shot to try and make up some spots that they otherwise would not have. We're down to 22 laps to go now. And we've got the most cars in contention for the win in this last stint. 3 wide for second place. Ryan Blaney, Cam Jordan, and Kellen Relic. Alan Taylor behind them. Alan Taylor would like to get by these 3 guys and make it a potential 1-2 finish for Monty Shangle Motorsports. Liz Shangle just a few places back there. Wow, Danny Lidowitz with that damaged vehicle has worked his way up to 6th. One odd statistic is that he has 0 top 5s this year and about 8 top 10s in 15 races. He's just been consistent, and that's good enough to get him within the top 10 in the point standings. He's 1 shy of a top 5. It'd be too much if he got that top 5. I think he should stay right there in 6th and continue the streak of getting top 10 finishes in the Cup Series here. Looks like Liz is going to get by him for position. Made it look easy. Still in the top 10 as he runs. That would only add another top 10 to his resume in 2023. Meanwhile, at the lead, Monty's still holding it over Kellen Relic and a trio that are racing hard behind them. Alan Taylor's worked his way up to 3rd now. He'll have his sights set on Kellen Relic just in front of him. As we're down to 19 laps to go. It's getting down to crunch time for everyone that's involved. Danny Lidowitz just barely hanging on to his top 10 right now as he gets bumped back to 9th. The way this is playing out, it looks like we're going to have a good fashioned battle for the win here. And Kellen Relic, hungry for a win, being absent from victory lane for about 4 years would do that to you. He won't let Monty get too far away as he's continuing to hound him on the back bumper. Cam Jordan making it interesting as he gets on the inside of Kellen Relic and takes the position away. Monty Shangle Motorsports currently running 1st, 4th, and 5th. Their other contender in 11th. So all Monty Shangle Motorsport entrants are still running in this one. John Roman in 11th has some work to do to catch up to the front. Ooh, and Cam Jordan is going to try to take the lead away from Monty. Alan Taylor peeking out on the inside of Kellen Relic. Liz Shangle pushing right behind him. This is where it comes in handy to have teammates on your side. Monty Shangle falls back to second as Cam Jordan steals the lead away. With 15 laps to go now. Monty Shangle now facing a little bit of adversity here as he's dropped all the way back to 6th. Now down to our final 12 laps, and realistically there's still 7 cars in contention here for the win. It's going to get interesting at the front as Alan Taylor, bam, takes out the 54 of Cam Jordan in the lead. Man, that's a ballsy move. That one could draw the ire of the sanctioning body. After a move like that, you can see here, Alan Taylor just drives right through Cam Jordan. Team tactics maybe, as the race was dwindling down. I thought that the 28 was faster and he could have just passed him without wrecking him. But we'll see how this plays out now. Alan Taylor just made an enemy in the 54 of Cam Jordan. Cam Jordan was looking like he was going to try to go for his first win here today. But sadly, comes to an end here with 12 laps to go after Alan Taylor simply dumps him. This will give us another restart before the finish of this race. Everyone in the back is going to have another opportunity to make their presence known. But we went from Cam Jordan fighting for the lead, taking the lead away from Monty Shangle, to Alan Taylor coming up on him and simply just dumping him from the lead there. This is going to give the lead back to Kellen Relic for now, followed by Liz Shangle, Monty Shangle, Ryan Blaney, and Alan Taylor. Tim Cording with a good run. Jack Ross, Danny Litowitz. John Roman now up to 9th. Alexander Rossi Austin Mullins, Michael LeBeau, Al Bunch, Louis Trost, Chris Hergeson, Jacob Shangle, the mangled car of Cam Jordan, Atlee Weiss, Skylar Dixon, Dalton Scott, and Scott Dixon. We're going to have a frantic shootout to the finish here, as we're only going to have about 9 laps to go to conclude this one. Okay, what could likely be the final restart of the race here. We'll have 7 laps to go to determine the winner. Sadly, what was looking like a good run for Cam Jordan is not going to be a winning race for him, as he's now at the back of the field with a damaged vehicle. So we'll see who amongst the top 5 here is going to take home the victory. 7 laps to go. Liz Shangle on the outside of Kellen Relic gets a good hop there. Alan Taylor making it 3 wide for 3rd there. Monty Shangle's gonna keep the momentum going here. John Roman in the background even making a charge. Monty Shangle Motorsports all moving towards the front with the closing stretch of race right upon us. Kellen Relic's been a hard one to beat today. Liz Shangle holding him off right now, but it looks like Kellen's going to put the nose on the inside and make it side by side on the front stretch. Side by side going into turn 1. And the longer they stay side by side, this will allow for the rest of the guys behind them to catch back up. How about Jack Ross kind of out of nowhere showing up to the party late? Also, John Roman cracking into the top 5 with about 5 laps to go. There's a lot going on in the closing laps of this one. Monty Shangle's just dropping off. The pace not quite there on this final restart. He's going to have to hope for another caution to give himself another shot at the win here today, because it doesn't look like it's in the cards right now. Kellen Relic with the lead over Liz Shangle and Alan Taylor. Still quite a few drivers with a fighting chance here. If these leaders can get side by side, that should allow for even Jack Ross to close in on the action. As you can see, Liz is running right there behind Kellen. She's building a little bit of momentum. And of course, a caution right now would put us into overtime for our first attempt at overtime if we do get a caution. Staying relatively civilized right now. Looks like Liz is losing some momentum to Kellen. Really down to 4 laps to go now. And it's going to be crunch time. Do or die. How about Atlee Weiss getting himself into the top 10 here? Oh, he's a lap down, unfortunately. Must have fell a lap down when I wasn't paying attention. Sadly, that means he's not going to get a top 10 where he's racing with the folks in the top 10. With 3 laps to go now, this is getting harder for Liz to make the right move. Liz would extend Monty Shangle Motorsports to their third driver to get a win. 3 out of the 4 drivers, if she can pull it off here, would be a fascinating feat for the team. Very dominant season for MSM to begin the season. If Liz is able to pull it off, all that would mean is that John would have to find victory lane sometime this year, and the team would have a win from all 4 of their drivers. And here comes Liz. And of course, this just popped into my mind. The last time she won was on her birthday last year. And would you believe it that her birthday was the 6th, and she's going to try to go to victory lane again on her birthday. So that's a thing. Apparently all Liz knows how to do is find victory lane on her birthday, but she's going to have to hold off Alan Taylor for 1 lap as they're going to get the white flag this time by. MSM leads running 1-2. Jack Ross in the background there coming into 3rd. And Liz could possibly make it back-to-back seasons, getting a win on her birthday. She's only got a couple more corners to make here, and her teammate is not going to make it easy on her. Alan Taylor goes on the inside on the attack, and I might just have jinxed it for Liz. Liz is going to come up short, it looks like, as Alan Taylor, the teammate, is going to deny her a victory here at Ontario. Good race nonetheless. Monty Shangle Motorsports adds another win to their docket for this year. Liz comes up just short of going back-to-back with win on her birthday. Coming home 2nd today, definitely not too bad. At least she was able to win on her birthday last year. You ain't going to have that opportunity very often to come around and win on your birthday. Alan Taylor gets his 2nd win of the season. He had his first win was kind of a shock win at California where everyone was running out of gas around him. Today he kind of proved that he had the speed and the ability to get to victory lane. Jack Ross coming home 3rd, a solid run for him. Kellen Relic settles into 4th. John Roman 5th. Austin Mullins 6th. Ryan Blaney 7th. Monty Shangle 8th. Ninth was Michael LeBeau and Al Bunch rounding out your top 10. Man, what a good story that would have been if Liz could have pulled off the victory there. She was leading with just a couple laps to go and got bested by the team stable number 28 car. Ford continues to rack up wins here in the Sylvania Cup Series. It's been a great start to the year for Ford. And we still got plenty of racing in the Sylvania Cup Series. A lot of opportunities for Liz to get that victory. A lot of opportunities for everyone to get their wins in the season. So, congratulations to Alan Taylor on securing his second win in 2023. And MSM is just going to continue to prove that they're out for blood this year to try and get that championship. Monty had led a lot of laps but came up just short, coming home in the top 10 there. And so that rounds out another week of racing here on the Nasser series of offline racing. I'm glad you could tune in. We had some good racing after all the wrecks and carnage stopped here today. So hopefully you guys have a fun and safe Easter and enjoy the Bristol Dirt Race on Sunday too. I'm glad you guys tuned in, and we'll catch you on the next one.